What's up, fiends? The Bat and the Cat are back. That's right. We are the Midnight Society. My TV is like 20 seconds off.
Yeah, what's your first name again? I forgot.
Mine, the Bat.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen you such a long time. Is our new host, our new co-host, the Bat?
So how's it going?
Good, man. Glad you're back, man.
Yeah.
Man, it's been really wonky since you took your break and then you went on vacation and then you've come back for the first night and then you got Art staring right over your head.
Look out. Yes, crazy Art the Clown.
Oh my God. Art the Clown, Terrifier. What a crazy ass movie. That's a great movie to come back to.
It is, and it's a fantastic Halloween movie.
It definitely is.
It even takes place on Halloween.
On my community tab, I actually put up there. I asked the question: who had a better October, Michael Myers or who ruled October, Michael Myers or Art the Clown? And surprisingly, people said Michael Myers, but I think Art the Clown pretty much is owning October. I have yet to hear anybody. I have yet to see or hear anybody with one negative comment or review about Art the Clown.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but praise and awesome stuff about part 2. I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers in the comments, people.
No spoilers.
Haven't seen it yet. But I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, and I am very much looking forward to watching it. So when that comes out to physical media, I'm grabbing that bad boy.
I think it's on Shudder, if I'm not mistaken.
I know it's on Screambox, but I don't know anybody that has Screambox because
I never heard
stream it anywhere.
Casey voted for Macabres. Yeah, I put that down there too. So my thing, who had a better October? I put Michael Myers. I put Terrifier or Art the Clown. I put then I put Smile, and then I put the Macabres. Have you heard about the Macabres?
I've heard about, but I've not seen.
Well, the Macabres is it's taken over the nation. What it is, you have to go buy yourself a McBoo meal, and then on it, you get a little hamburger and a little small fry, and some nuggets. And what you do is you put the bun down, and then the patty, and then you put 2 nuggets. Then you put 3 or 4 French fries and smash it together, and that's the Macabres.
All right.
It's like a little league version of a Primanti sandwich from Pittsburgh.
I got you.
Okay. Hey Charles, how are you, sir? Casey. Let's see. Casey thought Terrifier 2 was better than Halloween Ends. I think everybody's agreeing with you about that, Casey. Hobbs is saying a lot of people are going for the Macabres. Yep. And Casey's right. Terrifier was excellent. He enjoyed it. Let's see. B movies by the grace of God. Terror Train remake 2022 is on Tubi now. Yeah, sure. I saw that, and yeah, that might be interesting. I think the original Terror Train is also on Tubi. So there might be a old versus new.
Yeah, the original's pretty okay. I don't know if they needed a remake, but
I don't know either. I mean, as long as they didn't remake it literally like the first movie, I'm all right with it. If it had a different ending or different killer, I'm down with that. But maybe we could do a comparison, old versus new.
That's an idea.
The McBoob meal.
Fairfax on Netflix. All right, cool.
Oh my gosh, and McBoob.
Yeah, there you go. The original's on Tubi as well. Yeah, so go watch the original first and then watch the remake. And
yeah, that's right.
Let us know. We may end up doing a comparison. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen on the Midnight Society.
That's yes, and you know what? That's not hyperbole either. He's literally telling you how it is.
Yes.
We don't know We don't know what we're doing like a week in advance. Um, let's see. Let's see. Al, where's the towel at? Oh,
Towel's in the kitchen where it's supposed to be.
did you get a bat towel?
I got a special towel. I may show it later.
Is it a bat towel?
Is there bats on it? I don't remember there's bats on it. There's good stuff on it though.
Oh,
That pertains to my channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to grab. Yeah, I saw that by the handle thing. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I know they sent me one email stating that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know why they're doing this. I mean, what we already have our handles, so why don't you just assign them to us?
Right. It's
I really don't understand it.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't understand it either. So we have to choose it again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We have to go in there. We have to go in there and I guess the second time they send you an email, I guess it's supposed to send you to the studio and you can for your handle. And it's just like, I already got mine. Why do I need to go and redo it again? It's like it makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
It's I
don't get it. It's just extra work, and I don't know why.
Casey wants to know if he did a SRS towel.
Oh, SRS towel? Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
Well, would it be Pappy's Graveyard? Because that would be.
No, it'd be some sort of giant kaiju movie from him.
For him, yes, of course. For me, I'd get stuck with Pappy's Graveyard. Yeah. Has anybody here seen Pappy's Graveyard? Please let me know in the comments.
So Casey
know what the hell I'm talking about.
Casey said he went to make his name, and it was already taken. Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's him. Like, I think it's like what we already have. Is that
maybe we're not affected by it because we already have our channels and everything.
It might be folks that are under 100 subs, maybe, that don't have the name change. I don't know.
Right, because they open up the community tab for everybody. Everybody has a community tab now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yep.
Because I haven't seen that unless I just left my phone just doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's rolling it out. I mean, I've seen people as many as 13 subs have a community tab.
Dang. Okay, well that's cool.
Let's see.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, not that it was already set to it. So what was the point? Yeah, I agree. I don't understand it.
No, doesn't make any sense. Oh, Mr. Bones is here as well. Let's see.
What's going on, Mr. Bones?
Yeah, for those that don't know, Pappy's Graveyard, I did a video on it a few days ago, and it's like if it's like if Mark Polonia and Don Doler made a movie with your grandpa for like $10. That's Pappy's Graveyard.
Huh. I got to go because I think I might have to go look into this a little bit because my original channel name was one thing, and then I came over and started this channel. So I might have to go in there. I might have to be one of those people that actually go in there and do that. But I hope not. Someone actually wanted to buy my my handle name on YouTube when I first went on, and then I got another person who wanted to buy it on Twitter. Yeah, for my name on Twitter. Someone offered to pay me money for my name, and I said no.
That's so bizarre.
Like, wow. Yeah. It's glad everybody's coming in for tonight. It is a week up from Halloween. I think we're 8 days away from Halloween. Oh, have you entered the Spooktacular yet?
I have not. I haven't had time to make a video.
You're gonna have to do that like today or tomorrow. And people have to join in the Spooktacular. Who in their chat has not joined the Spooktacular? I'm gonna drop Hobbs's his contest entry video in here, so people can go over there and check out the Hobbs Spooktacular.
Yeah, go for it. Bones, send me that link. I want to see.
Let's see. Yeah, we
Betty
got.
says clowns are evil. Never like clowns. Well, this movie probably does not help you with that, does it?
Let's see. Where is that?
Who you trying to get?
I'm getting Hobbs' video for his the Spooktacular. There. Let's see.
Got it. Oh, and also I am nominated for Horror YouTuber of the Month.
Have they picked that out yet?
On the 1st of the month, they will do that.
Wow. Yeah, I think you're gonna win.
So you can still vote, folks. You can still vote. All you got to do is make a comment in the video, and I'll go ahead and drop that link as well. Just drop a comment in the video. I vote for whoever you'd like to vote for.
That's right.
You know, whatever.
I say what you do is after our show tonight, before you head over to Gory's, is that you stop by, you go back there, you kick out a 10-minute video of Hobbs Horror, enter the Spooktacular, and then go over there and vote for Al for Horror-Tuber of the month, and then zip on over to Gory and see what she's up to.
There you go. And it would be even better because November is my birthday, so it'd be a nice little birthday present.
Yeah. What day in November is your birthday?
November 3rd. So
wow.
Thursday this year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thursday. Well, do you celebrate your birthday for the entire month or just a day?
No, I just do the day. I'm not a birthday hog.
I know. I see people say, I'm going to celebrate my birthday month. I'm like, the whole month? I mean, like the whole month? Yeah. I'm like, okay, I just do one day. Let's see. There's the Al's Horror-Tuber of the month link is up, and then cruise on over and please submit yourself for the Hobbs Spooktacular. There could be a chance. I heard this, though I can't confirm this, but my sources tell me that whoever wins the Spooktacular this year will be getting a secret McHobbs sandwich recipe in the box, a secret ingredient. So there's added excitement for this year's Spooktacular.
Is it the special sauce?
You know what? I'm sure for now it's dark. I'm sure he would probably say he would hope so. But
too funny. All right, let's see. True story. I threatened my brother every year to hire a midget clown for his birthday because my brother, big dude, is afraid of clowns. Oh Lord. Let's see. We're shopping near my brother turns down an aisle and see. Oh God, he turns immediately. And you had to go get. Oh God.
How many people in the chat are scared of clowns? Are you scared of clowns, Al?
When I was little, I was. When I was a kid, they terrified me.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
they literally terrified me. Get it?
It makes me laugh because it's like I've always seen clowns as just clowns. You know, just they're funny as hell. They're like Three Stooges with makeup.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. See, when I was little, I felt that like a clown wasn't like a person, like it was like a different layer or something. Like I saw them as kind of otherworldly. That makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I didn't get that it was just a guy in face. You know, I didn't get it.
I mean, that's probably the closest clown I probably ever got scared of was probably the Violator.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to Spawn.
Shout out to Spawn.
There you
go. I was waiting for everybody to sit there and go like, all right. No, it's dead quiet. Crickets. I don't
Charles' brother is probably still afraid of clowns.
I love clowns. Clowns they make me laugh.
Vanessa's not afraid of clowns. Were you ever afraid of clowns? Oh, and the other thing I think that made me afraid of clowns, when I was little, very, very little, I watched Poltergeist. And that clown scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. You know, that's always like a trope too, you know, now in horror movies. So some kid will be in the bedroom, and then they'll show a clown on there looking like all evil and shit, and the lighting and stuff, and then they say, the clown's moving around. Yeah, that's sort of like a cliche, though. It's like Jack in the Box. Like you think you do the Jack in the Box, and it comes out and being all scary and stuff, and it's just like,
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Vanessa, I get why people are so scared of them. There's John Wayne Gacy, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
They're traveling fairs, and yeah, people see him as seedy and sleazy. I see him as seedy and sleazy
I
too,
can see that
but
for
I don't
sure.
see him as scary.
Let's
I,
Doug had a
I,
friend
I
in high school that went to clown college. There you go. That's cool.
wow.
That's like Baskets. You ever saw Baskets? The TV show Baskets
Ah,
with Zach Galifianakis. He's like a rodeo clown. Fantastic show.
he's a good actor.
He really is.
He did a show I just caught on YouTube. I guess he did this comedy show called Between the Ferns, and
Yeah.
oh my god, man, that's some funny ass shit on that show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait. I actually saw Zach Galifianakis do a stand up routine in person once, and God, he killed it, man. Like he was sitting there. He had like a little piano on stage, and he was playing, and just like cracked this joke after joke, and it was incredible.
Let's see. Remember a few years ago when people were dressing as clowns and hiding in the woods? Oh yeah, people were doing that all over the country, right? Coming up and popping up at night, different places.
Yeah, that was creepy.
But you know what though? I mean, I don't really know if he could. I think if he did that sort of like a mob, those flash mob mentalities, it might work. It might work. But you know what? I think if you go out there trying to scare people and I think there's, I wouldn't try to do something like that, especially now in today's society, because people are so trigger fingered, and they might add some red paint to your clown look.
They might. Yeah, they sure might.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, because people were getting it was fun. It was funny. You sit there, you look out your window, and there's a clown walking down the street, or they're standing outside looking at your house.
Yeah.
And then you stick your head on and go like, yeah, could you just stay right there? It'll be easier for me to put my laser pointer on your chest. And then it's like, whoa, this didn't turn out to be quite as much fun as I thought it was going to be.
Well, there you go.
Wait a minute. So how fast can you run, clown?
Well, Casey was hoping that you'd get dressed up as a clown for the stream.
Oh God.
As was I, but but
I was actually sort of hoping you dressed like a bat.
I'm always dressed like a bat. What are you talking about?
I wanted to see some wings. When you came on, I wanted to see you hanging upside down.
I do my little yeah.
That's right. I guess there are some people that are doing a costume contest on the tube this month. I know that our friend from Makeup Mom and Son, I know she was dressed up in a costume today during her live. I think she was a zombie. I'm not sure if people are actually doing. I'm not sure if the Midnight Hour is doing a clown episode or a costume episode or not. I know last year they did, but I'm not sure if they're doing it this year or not.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
We don't play that. That's right.
Dressing up for YouTube. I don't know. Just I mean, I put on a mask. I had to go buy a $2 mask for the show. I think Costa still has that too. It's just like it felt like a pair of women's pantyhose over my head.
Yeah.
I felt more like shit robbing a bank, with Val Kilmer than I did like a clown.
That's funny.
But Art the Clown is he's a
bastard.
He you know what, as far as people like mentioning new modern icons, I gotta say the two that jump out at me are Sam, which we're hearing he's going to get a sequel, and then Art the Clown. I mean, these are probably the two biggest news. Like every Halloween we talk about these characters. I think these two are probably the two most popular that have hit the horror community in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah, Sam from Trick or Treat. Is that what you're talking about? You mean Sam from Trick or Treat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is supposed to be getting a sequel finally.
Supposedly, yeah. I think Michael Dougherty said he's finally doing it or something. Yeah. So that would be cool.
Totally don't understand why he hasn't done it yet. Totally don't. I mean, every year the character gets more and more popular. So why not go ahead and make a sequel now? And Art, I mean, look what happened to there. I mean, they actually opened up at the theater, which I was actually perplexed. I guess really what happened was it really helped about Halloween Ends really helped Art Terrifier 2, because Terrifier 2 came out on the 6th, and it did like $400,000, and then during the weekend it went up at I think it went up to close to $1 million, and then the weekend after that it did like another $1 million plus. I mean, it's made its money back, but it also helped too that Halloween Ends was such a car crash, and I think a lot of fans.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans just said, you know what, I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna go watch a
good slasher.
I'm gonna watch a good horror movie.
There you go. Yeah, and you know, I'm totally cool with that. I'm glad Art is getting his just due.
Yeah, me too. You got a little worried though, because it took so long for them to get the money together, and because he wanted to do it right. Leone wanted to do it right, and he just kept on hoarding the money and gathering it. And finally felt like he had this budget, and then he did it. Then he went ahead and did it. And of course, the COVID also played a part in that as well too. As far as filming goes, there's a lot of because I do believe it would have been out before if COVID hadn't hit. So I think that really hurt the film, or in some cases might have helped it, because while they were still, while they weren't able to film, but he never stopped raising money. He never stopped raising capital for the movie. And from what I'm hearing, the movie looks absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's see. Victor Crowley, yes. Don't quite hear much about Victor Crowley as I do Sam or Art. Even though Victor Crowley has been around longer, has more movies, I don't really hear his name mentioned in the same level as Sam or Art. Though he is a very formidable character.
I would say the real horror people know.
Yes. Yeah,
you know what I'm
not the Halloween slappies that keep going over for the 100th live stream about it, talking about it.
I am so sick of Halloween Ends and Scream 6 and all that crap. I'm done.
Yeah,
I will never go on a stream and talk about either one of those.
No,
not gonna happen.
No, I have no desire. The only thing I will say, and this is a spoiler, but Jesus, if you haven't heard this by now, then I don't know where you've been living. But there is one thing about Halloween Ends that I did like, and they did do, and I was okay with it, and that was that Laurie Strode lived. Her character survived. That's really the only thing I had vested in the movie. That was the only thing I had vested. I mean, I didn't care anything else about what happened to the movie. I had a storyline that I had hoped that it was going to happen, and they teased it, but they didn't do it. But the main thing for me was I wanted the Laurie Strode character to survive, and she did. So I was happy with that. But I mean, am I going to recommend the movie? Hell no. No.
Instead.
Yes. I'm hoping that Terrifier 2 will make it to hopefully it'll make it on Netflix. I was hoping it would be on Netflix now, but
I'm sure it will be within a month. I'm sure it will be.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I will watch it. I mean, I will watch it. My brother has it, and I will go ahead and let him know that, hey, once that movie hits, let me know so I can go over it and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't call herself that though. It's interesting enough. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, like
Though
porno
she
girl.
was yeah, she doesn't herself as a screen queen. Um, she knows her place in horror history, but she doesn't see herself as a screen queen. She does see herself as the OG final girl. And I would have to sit there and say, I think Sally Hardesty from Texas Chainsaw Massacre might have gotten that title from you first there, Jamie, but we get you. We get you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
or what's her name from Black Christmas? I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head. Yeah, but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Or even The Exorcist, right? I mean, would Reagan be
Regan,
considered the
yeah,
final girl? I
I
mean,
would say so. Yeah, I would
yeah,
say so.
okay.
In
Uh,
fact, Regan was on my list. In fact, I did a stream with JT a couple weeks ago about Final Girls, and she was on my list. There you
oh,
go.
really?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Well, there you go. I didn't even know that. You didn't even tell me you were going on online to do another stream.
yeah. That was before, right before right before my vacation.
Oh my gosh. There's Echo. He's our final guy
There you go. With the
on
mask
Werewolf.
and everything. There you go.
He's the final guy on Werewolf Island. That's the new hit sweeping the community. Werewolf Island. I'm having a lot of fun with that movie. That movie was garbage. Man, that movie was painful. Oh, man.
Tell us how you really feel, Patrick.
Oh, well, it's not as bad as Dustin Ferguson movie or Brett Kelly movie, but it was just you know what it is. It's like we were talking to our guest Michael Lacastri on the 8 Questions with show, and we were talking about his movie The Best Laid Plans, and he talked about because they had Edwin Neal from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Linnea Quigley of Night of the Return of the Living Dead, and of course they had them. They had when you see the box of the movie, it has their two names on there, right? And of course they have one flipping scene in there, and we were talking about that, with that again, and he says, he got those two only through a connection, only through a friend of theirs, and they only had them for one day, and they had to really rapidly rewrite the parts for them.
Mm.
But of course, he also said too that without those two names on the box they're not going to get distributed. And it's just it's sort of frustrating. It's a catch-22. It's like, how many times have you seen that before, where you see horror icon names on top of a box, and then they have that one little scene, and then that's it. Then you're sitting there going like, wow, I just spent $15 on this, and they're in there for 30 seconds. And for the filmmaker, it's like, well, if I don't get those people on, and I can only afford to have them on for one day, I don't get my movie made. I don't get it distributed. So it's a. But I personally feel, for a situation like that, like I noticed that there wasn't any big stars in Art the Clown and Terrifier. There's nothing. They're all just up and coming actors. There's no stunt casting in Terrifier, and as far as I know, Terrifier 2, it's just going based on the character of Art. Art is driving that franchise. I don't think they feel they need to have any star power to it. And I agree with them. I don't even going forward. I don't think you necessarily need to bring a star performer into Art. I
Oh
think
no.
Art's character is big enough to supersede that.
Oh no. Yeah. No. I definitely would not. If I was Damien Leone, I would stay away from that for sure. Yeah.
But I like what Christopher Moore did with Children of Sin. When he made his movie Triggered, he had Amanda Weiss from Nightmare on Elm Street, and he could have did that too, but he didn't. He backed off, went inside his room, and he wrote a serious part, and gave it to Amanda Weiss, and she's an important part of the movie. And I just wish that more directors would do that. It's like, hell, you got him that much, just maybe go up to him and say, listen, I can write, if I have you for 2 days for the price of one, that gives me time to write you a really good part, a really substantial part. I'd rather do that than have you come in there and just do a 30-second throwaway just for your name.
Right.
But Art the Clown, This Terrifier was not the first movie that Art appeared in,
No, he's
um,
not.
and neither was 1031. Right? Was that the movie that he was supposed to pop in on? Because he popped in a short film at first.
Well, the first time I saw him was All Hallows Eve.
Yes, and on 2000 and 2013, but before All Hallows Eve was on, he had actually done two shorts.
I believe,
One,
yeah, I believe he did a short or two. Yeah.
yeah, he done two shorts. He wasn't the main character, and he wasn't the main original art. Art was not David Thornton. David Howard Thornton. It was
Right.
a different actor. Um, and so the first three performances were by a different actor, and then Art came on for the Halloween. Let's see if I'm not mistaken. It sounds like they. It sounds like they. It sounds like they. The actor who played Art in the first three movies, including All Hallows Eve, it sounds like maybe he might have been a little bit older. I know that he retired from acting. For,
Mhm.
so so Art had been around. He had done two shorts, and then he did. Then basically what they did for All Hallows Eve, they asked him to Leone to bring Art to the party and used him as a focal point for the anthology, and that thus Art the Clown, his legacy was born.
Yeah. There you go.
Um, yeah, this movie was the first time watch for me.
Yeah, that surprised me when you told me that. I thought you had seen it when it came out back in the day.
It's funny. I actually saw this at my family video store, and I went to get it. I went to actually go get it, and it had been sold. And
Oh,
yeah, I actually saw. Okay, I know who that is. So let me go over there and get it. And but unfortunately, it had been sold, and I never saw it at the family video again. And I also thought too by this time I would have saw a copy at the library. I actually
well,
did. I actually thought I would actually get a copy of Terrifier through the library, but I have not as of yet. That has not
well,
happened.
well. That just means when people are buying it, they like it and they want to keep it.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think that there's a lot less of them sold, so the ones that did buy it, they did hang on to it. Yeah, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah,
yeah,
because that's what happens. When you oversell a lot of movies, that's why you see them. A lot of people just they bought it when it was really popular. It was everywhere. You could pick it up cheap from anywhere, everywhere, all at once. But no, not Art the Clown. He is hard to find. As far as just hunting in the wild goes. Yes, you could buy it off of eBay or Amazon. I'm sure you could, but I'm sure you'd be paying a hefty price for it too.
yeah.
Uh, so when did you see Terrifier?
I saw it when it first came out. I wanted 2016, whatever. I saw it. I streamed it on something. It was on something. I want to say it was Netflix, maybe. And I kind of heard about it, and it was like, oh, this new crazy slasher. Oh, so brutal. Blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, all right. You know how they always say this about all the stuff. So so I just go into it and I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right. And then the part we'll get to later happens, and I'm like, holy crap, this movie's freaking nuts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That got me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's. Whew. Yeah, I didn't know what to go into. I've actually never really talked to anybody about this movie. I mean, I heard that. I know we had discussions before where because Art the Clown uses a gun, and so a lot of people were. I did hear a lot of negativity about that. As far as horror fans going, like, why is he using a gun? It's a slasher film, it's not gunplay. It's a slasher, and I have to admit, it did seem sort of cheap to see him pull out a gun and shoot. It's just like, wow, that's
Well,
You know,
when we get there, I'll say my theory about that.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into Terrifier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let the bat fly and take the lead.
All right. So it is written and directed by Damien Leone. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. We have a couple of folks in this movie. We have Jenna Cannell as Tara Hayes. We have Samantha Scafidi as Victoria Hayes. Catherine Corcoran as Dawn. She was in the Return to Class of Nukem High movies. And of course, we have David Howard Thornton as our hero, Art the Clown.
Art.
Yeah, no. But all right, so we open on a staticky TV in the middle of a room,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a like a talk show type thing, and the host is talking to the sole survivor of the Miles County massacre, which happened 1 year ago on Halloween, and we end up seeing that the guest, her face is all mangled and distorted and freaking
Destroyed.
crazy looking,
Yeah.
and the at this point the host claims that the killer is dead, and the victim is, she's like, no, he's not dead, he's not dead. um no, I'm backwards. Oh yeah, so anyway, art, then we see we go back to the TV, and the TV gets kicked by a giant clown shoe. And then the opening credits happen. During the opening credits, we see Art prepping for, look like he's prepping for combat or something. I don't know. Like he's it's like a full on Rambo getting ready thing.
What really surprised me was the fact I thought that his outfit. I thought that was how he was. I thought that's how he was. You know, and they showed him getting ready. You know,
Mm-hmm.
putting on the clown makeup and the mask and everything else, and doing his teeth and lipstick and everything else. I thought that he was almost like sort of dynamic anyway. You know, I didn't expect to see him actually literally putting on his mask and his
Mm-hmm.
makeup. So that took me a little bit by surprise as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's not. So he's just a dude, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We never see him at all. We never get a clean. We never get a
No,
clean look at his face.
no. Because by the time we see it, he's fully made up
Yeah,
in his garb, I guess you could say.
and his bag of treats.
Yes, yes. His garbage bag of trees. So now we cut to the host backstage, and she's, you know, getting undone and stuff, and she's on the phone with her, I don't know if it's a boyfriend or a husband or something, and she's basically just saying how like incredibly ugly the victim was in person, and how gross she is and all that stuff, and the victim like overhears all of this, so she jumps on her and she attacks her,
Yeah,
and she freaking like gouges her eyes out, like, and it's like,
she,
yeah,
she yeah she returned the favor.
yeah, yeah. So, but the host was a jerk, so
Yeah, I didn't feel
I
bad
was kind
for
of
her.
okay with it, really.
I was too. I was like, yeah, you sort of brought that upon yourself there.
Yeah, yeah. So now we cut to Tara and Dawn, and they're dressed up for a Halloween party, and they're on the way back to the car, and Dawn has had a little too much.
It's a
So
little.
yeah, so Tara's trying to get the keys back from her and stuff, kind of like the college kids do, at least down here in New Orleans. I don't know about elsewhere, but
I
um,
get. Like, did you get the idea of the Art the Clown? I mean, the town they're in. Did it seem more sort of like New Yorkish to you, upstate New York?
it definitely had a New York feel to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, to me at least.
Yeah, me too.
So while they're walking to the car, Art approaches and kind of stares at him. And he's creepy. You know, Art. For those that haven't seen Art, let me see. I I have some visual aids to help us.
Just, yay.
Let's see. This is Art. Yeah, this is So he's not exactly friendly looking clown.
No, he looks pretty. He looks rather grumpy.
Yeah, yeah, you know. Oh, and I also do have a photo of the uh, the victim. So yeah, so hold your eyes if you are sensitive.
Yeah,
But that's our lovely victim here. Yeah, isn't she
yeah,
pretty?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, but Art, man, Art is he's just so creepy, and he's so skinny, and like just like I don't know, like he looks not human.
He
You know what I
does.
mean? He has like an alien feel to him, kind of, to me. I
You
don't
know,
know.
so I know they say they call it the anti-Pennywise, but at the same time, that's the sort of feeling you got when you watched him a little bit. You know,
Similar
the
vibe, yeah.
I love the mannerisms. You know, I like the mime. You know, he's sitting there and he's like looking at him and he's blinking his eyes and his hands. He's like this and his hands are there. I mean, he's totally not saying a word, but he's totally talking to you.
Yo, yeah, yeah, and that's the other thing. Art does not say one word in this movie. Not even a whimper. Like you hear no vocalization from Art whatsoever, and to me that makes it even creepier. You know, like the only thing you hear from him is that damn bike horn. You know what I'm saying? And it's just
Right.
it's so creepy.
I just how he just came he come he comes in and it sort of surprised me a little bit later on because first he comes in and he sits there and he's perfectly fine and then he starts making the Google eyes at Tara and you're going like okay he's making the Google eyes at her and then then he and then of course I thought her friend definitely sort of brought on her demise with what she did like basically invading his space and forcing us for a selfie. I was like, wow, who would do that? I know she was. Yes, that was just like that was probably like the even in the best of time, even if Art wasn't a killer, um, that she was sort of that was sort of creepy on her part doing
It
that
was.
to me. Just and no boundaries, just and then making fun of him and his costume and everything else. I mean, even if Art was normal, that was still a creepy scene, and it wasn't all on him, which is probably the only scene in the entire movie that isn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I totally agree. Totally agree. Oh, here you go. Hey, Jim. See, some of it was filmed not too far from Cobleskill, New York. There you go.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm sure I mispronounced that, but that's okay. Yeah. Oh, dude, I've been doing a bunch of reviews lately, and all these names, people's names are crazy.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm
There,
trying to
there,
pronounce
there,
all
there-
these things, and I'm like, literally every video now, I'm like, and starring blah blah blah. Sorry if I mispronounced that in like every
oh, no
video.
doubt, no doubt. I kill everybody's name. It's like the first thing I'll do once I start talking to somebody. Like, okay, how do I how did I mangle your name? And they'll say it's okay or it's all right. But they're very generous. But as soon as you say the name and you get it wrong, you said it wrong.
Yeah, and then and you feel so bad too. You're like, oh god, I'm such an idiot. Yeah, like I actually have two coming up that yeah I'm sure I butchered their names and I have no idea how they pronounce it. So
I see
yeah.
Hobbs is watching football games from the 90s.
Well there you go. That's probably better than football games today. So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Well, his Bengals won, so I think he's just trying to let me know that.
there you go. Yeah, I like the Bengals. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Um,
But yeah, all right. So yeah, like we were saying, this whole scene in the pizza place where she's trying to get the selfie and all this other stuff, and the whole time, Art is just like staring a hole
Yeah.
right into Tara. I mean, it's like it's laser focused, and it's just yeah, it's
But she
intense,
started.
man.
The thing is, though, too, she stared first.
She did.
She did stare first, and she didn't break contact. And yeah, she just sat there and looked at him, and then he noticed her doing that, and so he started staring at her, and then he was doing all those funny things, and and she's creeped out by it, but she couldn't take her eyes away. I could understand that because he was so unusual looking. I could understand her point of view of sitting there going like, "What the hell is that?" It wouldn't have been so bad except for I think what made him really creepy was the teeth.
Oh yeah, the those creepy giant teeth.
Yeah. I mean, if he had normal teeth, he just looked just like any other clown at any other Halloween party. But his teeth sort of added that menace to it.
The teeth in that weird like that real half pointy nose thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With a little speck of black at the tip of it.
yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just that little bit is just so unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's like going inside an art gallery, seeing a blank white canvas, and then there's a one single pencil dot in the middle of it. You're drawn to that dot and missed everything else. And that's what it was with his nose. It's like, okay, what's he got on his nose? And then you missed out everything else that he's doing. Yes, Charles, he needs a dentist, big time.
Yep, yep. I know he probably likes his teeth. I'm sure. Let's see. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Where's the beef was on the pizza at the pizza place.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Bones. I mean, that is pretty funny. I did make that up, huh? An art gallery.
Art gallery. There you go.
Well, that's what they say. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs hanging on a wall? Art.
Art. There you go. So yeah. So meanwhile, at this pizza joint, Art takes a coin from one of the tables. The coins for a tip. He takes one of them and gets Tara a little souvenir.
How nice was that?
Yeah, he's all like flirty and stuff, even though he's like creepy as hell. And like, yeah, it's pretty funny. And so he gives her this little cheapo little ring, that you get, and he puts it right on the ring finger. And she's like, "What the hell?" And it really, yeah, that was I found that to be quite creepy, personally. Like, because he was just like, "Woo," and it was like, okay, it's like he's marking his territory.
Well, it's sort of almost like tit for tat, like he's invaded her space, putting the ring on her finger, just like her friend went over to his space and took those selfies.
Right.
Sort of like, so
yeah,
I think, it's sort of like a game of brinkmanship,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty funny scene, but then Art ends up going to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he let's see how can we put this?
Art, how about this? Art wasn't full of shit afterwards.
He definitely was not, because it was everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. He made his own painting.
He did.
It was self art.
Yeah, he did. He did. I do not have visual aids for that. Sorry.
Thank God for that.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness for small favors, right? Yeah. So
God, that was disgusting.
yeah, that was gross. So the pizza guy like throws him out, and yeah, it's like this typical like New York pizza guy.
He puts his hand out there and he waves. He waves, hands full of shit. It's just like, bro. I mean, there is okay. Even though this is a straight horror film, this is not by any stretch of the imagination. This is not a horror comedy.
No.
But there are a couple of minutes there that are
funny moments.
They're funny moments, but it does not mean it's a horror comedy by any stretch.
No, if you're thinking you're getting a horror comedy, this is it. This is the only.
Yeah,
This is pretty much it. From now on, it's like straight dark,
yeah.
super
It
dark,
it
crazy
is
stuff.
about as it is about as dark horror movie as you can get.
Yeah, yeah. So all right, so Art leaves. So Tara and Dawn also leave, and they're walking down the street back to Dawn's car, and they find her tires are slashed, and so
But they didn't recognize it. They didn't recognize that their tires had been slashed. They just thought they blew up. They didn't realize that someone had sabotaged their car at first.
right, they didn't quite realize it at first, but then I think they eventually do.
Hmm.
So Tara ends up calling her sister Victoria to come pick her up, and Victoria is a college girl, and she's studying for something, for a big old test or something tomorrow, the next day. Um, and so, but anyway, she kind of reluctantly agrees because there's other stuff happening by her place, and she's like, okay, I got to get out of here. So she kind of reluctantly agrees to come. And then we cut back to the pizza place. Um, and we have not the owner of the place, but the other pizza worker. I don't know his name. I think his name's yeah, I don't know his name. So
Steve,
he's
Steven,
he's cleaning up the crap,
yeah, the poo.
and comes out to find the owner's head sitting there on the counter, just burning away.
Yeah, he put candles in his eyes.
Put candles in his eyes, and it kind of it looks like a jack o' lantern,
Yeah,
and it's actually, I thought it was a really cool effect because it looked good, and it looked like a pumpkin, but it
yeah,
looked like a human head too.
yeah.
So
Art doesn't play.
yeah, no, art does not, art goes for it, man. Like art art is very artistic in his kills. But
What kind? Do you think it was more like an abstract killing? Like it was an abstract killing, or do you think it was more modern killing, or or Renaissance, or
yeah, yeah, who knows? Cubism, maybe, I don't know.
maybe if he would have took off the ears, it could have been a cubism.
Yeah, yeah, true. Or Dada, right? Dada,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right.
Probably Dada to go with the doo doo, you know.
Oh, in the bathroom, no doubt.
Yeah, there you
Uh,
go. So all right, so yeah, so Steve's head is sitting there burning, just going to town, and then of course Art pops up, and then Art chops off the other pizza guy's hand, or
yeah,
part of his hand, and then shoves a scalpel just right in his face, like
yeah, that
this,
was painful looking.
and then he just like stabs him over and over and over again. So yeah, Art is not he's not afraid to get messy at
You
all.
know, yeah, it's what it would have been an interesting turn. I was watching this, during the movie, but let me throw something at you this way. Maybe it was too early in the game to do this, but definitely later on it would have been interesting. Was the fact after he did a kill, he walked around, he had all that blood and guts on his face. I think it would have been really disconcerting to after he killed whoever he did, and he's got blood all over his face,
Mhm.
and then you see him walk behind like a pillar, and he comes out and he's pristine, clean again, like he's just
That
started.
would have been kind of cool. Yeah.
That would have been like creepy. Like,
I like I like that. Yeah,
I was
definitely.
like, what if he popped up instead of blood all over him, looking like a mess? He comes out and he's pristine. He's just like he was when you first met him.
Hmm.
I just thought, wow, that would have been like, what the hell? We are talking Terrifier tonight, the very first, first feature film, featuring art in all his glory, and that's what we're talking about tonight here on the Midnight Society.
Yeah, yeah.
Drop your thoughts on your thoughts on Art the Clown. Are you a fan of Art the Clown, or are clowns movies not your thing? Drop some comments down. Like to hear
Yeah,
your thoughts.
the other thing I want to know from everybody is who's your favorite clown? Like
Killer
Killer
Clown.
Clown movie, like, or
Yeah.
Killer Clown, like who's your favorite? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, favorite movie with a evil clown in it.
Yes. And then next time we do a clown movie, we're both going to do clown makeup.
That, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. See what we end up with.
Oh, that could happen.
Hey, you never know. So if
No,
you want
no,
to see that, let us
I
know.
don't think I might be down to do something like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Art is Michael Myers when he went on vacation from Haddonfield. I don't know. I think Art's a little more brutal than Michael.
Oh, definitely,
You
definitely.
know? Yeah.
Michael might have him on the weight side on the weight, but as far as his viciousness, yeah, I think Art is yeah, he's up there. He's probably like in Freddy's class because Freddy was very sadistic too.
Mm-hmm.
And
And also has a dark sense of humor.
yeah, he came. Yeah, I would compare Art more with like Pennywise or definitely Freddy when it comes down to the kills.
Yeah.
Jason and Michael and like Victor Crowley, they're just meat and potatoes. You know, Freddy and Art, they like to do things, you know, a little differently. They're like a 7-course meal.
Yeah. And then, well, Charles, that's the best answer I've heard because I also cannot choose. So there you go. I'll love them both as well. I can't really choose. Yeah, no. Let's see. As much as I don't like clowns, I did like this. Yeah, you know, this movie has a weird. Um, I'm not gonna say charm, but it has a weird thing about it. Like it's because the first time I saw it, I was just like, man, this movie's just a bunch of killings and like nothing much more. But I think this was my third time watching it. But every time I watch it, I see more and more of the story, and I see more and more of what they were going for. So it seems like this movie gets better every time I watch it.
I mean, it does skate. You have to admit, it does skate. You know, some people probably would say over the line, but it definitely skates the line to torture porn. I mean, it really does. It's
I,
real
I can
close.
see that. I can see that.
I think the only thing that saved it a little bit was one kill toward the end of the movie, which we'll talk about. I think that sort of pulled it back a little bit for me, you know, as far as that goes, because it was so one-sided. And you know, and it almost became almost a little disturbing in the fact that it was so one-sided. And sometimes this happens in horror movies too, whereas they'll show the male victim, he gets wiped out quick, right? He's just, you know, but the women always seem to suffer longer fates, you know, and that is, you know, that's, you
That's
know, like
true.
and it's sort of disconcerting, you know, to see that. It's like, why is it that you can sit there and show a girl get stabbed 20 times and she's still running and still, you know, but a guy will come out, open the door, and he'll get a machete to the face, and then he'll just roll down the hill, and then he's dead.
And it's getting done, right?
Right. You know, he's done.
Yeah,
You know, he doesn't.
that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, but then again, the majority of the survivors are female.
Yeah.
So they I don't know. It's interesting dynamic. Yeah, for sure,
Hmm.
for sure. All right, so let's see where we are. Let's see. So all right, so they're in the car, and Tara has to pee.
Uh-huh.
So so she sees a little apartment building right there, and a guy walks out, and so she goes up to him and she's like, "Hey, I really have to pee. Blah blah blah. Can I use the bathroom in here?" And he's like, "Oh, lady, I'm just an exterminator. I can't let you in this thing. Blah blah blah." Anyway, he eventually lets her in to go pee. And meanwhile, Dawn is sitting in the car listening to the radio, and she hears about the pizza guy's deaths.
Right.
So the two guys that just died, it's already on the news on the. So I don't know how
And a lot of details too for such something that just happened. You know, it was like
it is. However, now the sister was kind of far away, if I remember correctly. So they've been waiting for a while.
Yeah.
So maybe. But anyway, so yeah, so she hears the whole broadcast of the all the report, I should say, and then the door opens, and Art gets in the car with Dawn.
Yeah.
He sits there and goes, you know,
Yeah.
with his little hey,
Like, hey there.
yeah. So now we cut to Tara in the apartment building peeing. She comes out the bathroom and she hears a cat whimpering. There you go. There's
That's right.
the cat. The cat has made their appearance.
That's right. Cats were important in this movie.
They are.
I
And
was
so,
waiting for I was waiting for him to fuck up. I was waiting for him. Okay, they're gonna show him and a cat, and it's not gonna be all that good. And going like, okay, because if that happens, then then art goes on cat list number one. But art doesn't mess with any of the cats. He
he doesn't. He's
no he
smart enough not to fool with the cats.
yeah he knew. If you fuck with a cat, you got to deal with the bat. So
There you go.
that's right.
Then after you deal with the cat, you got to deal with the bat. So
That's right.
That's right. So Tara goes to investigate the cat whimpering,
Mhm.
and she runs into the cat lady.
Cat lady.
That is what she's known as in the credits. And this is the cat lady right there. There you go.
The cat lady was very, very young.
For a cat lady, yeah. Yeah.
I was expecting, I was like, for a cat lady, you expect an elderly person or whatnot, but she was very young.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I mean, I'll get back to it. She looks like someone else as well, but I'll get back to that later.
Okay.
So yeah. So the cat lady. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the cat lady?
So the cat lady is like in her mid-30s, and she lives at this abandoned building, and she has for quite a while. And she's not a stranger to Art. Art and her actually know each other because this is Art's building too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing too. It's like it wasn't by accident that Art, that Art took these girls to this building. This is, and so she's actually, it's like they have like an unwritten agreement, like you stay over there, I'll stay over here. But the cat lady, she's a tragic figure. And like she sees Tara, and she introduces herself to Tara like, this is my baby. She's holding her baby. Then we see the baby's just a doll. So we know the cat woman is definitely she's not all there, but she's not crazy like weird crazy, not like Weird Ralph crazy. She's tragic. Something happened to her, probably the loss of her real baby, and it's driven her. It's taken her. She's had a breakdown. So she's in this house, and she talks to Tara like a normal person. Maybe we can get together and do laundry together and stuff like that. Stuff that you would see in a normal apartment building, and give and I actually thought this was handled really, really well, where Tara sees the situation, and instead of going like, okay, excuse me, crazy ass lady, and whatnot, like you would see in just about every other damn horror movie, she shows tremendous compassion, and she treats her like, we could do that.
Right,
but
right.
I gotta go talk to the landlord about the first month's rent. How that goes. And so she talks to her as a peer, and then she leaves, and and with a believable story. She doesn't knock down the cat lady at all. She doesn't make anything about her baby or anything else. I actually thought too that was probably the most tenderest moment of the movie.
One of them. There's one later too.
And I thought that was just it was a very it stands out because there's none of these moments. So when you get the one or two,
Right.
it
It's
stands
like,
out the
whoa.
more. It
Yeah.
stands out the more of it.
Right.
Like so that was the cat lady. Yeah, I think what really struck me was how young she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I liked her look too, because her look, if you look at her face, uh, she looked like she had not eaten in weeks. She had those
Hmm.
hollow out cheeks,
Yep.
and just those eyes. I'm not sure if it was makeup or what, but it was so effective looking, and you felt so bad for her. And
Oh
that was
yeah.
the cat.
Yeah.
Uh, and then yeah, so I like the character. I thought she added a lot to the storytelling, and of course, then we find out later on what's going to happen, uh, how her and Tara's fates are intertwined
A little bit. A little bit.
a little bit.
Well, just a little bit. So now Tara goes to exit the building, and of course our buddy Art shows up,
That art,
and
what
he's
a
he at this point he's already got like blood all over him, and like it's like he's all gross and disgusting already,
yes.
and so
Well,
she kind of
shouldn't he?
runs back, and she hides behind a car, and so Art's kind of creeping around, kind of looking for her, in one of these like kind of classic hiding looking things in these movies. I thought it was done pretty well though. Um, and then, but Art ends up stabbing Tara in the leg. Boom.
Yeah, that long. Were you surprised at that? I have to tell you, I know that it was a slasher movie and whatnot, but it really it sort of surprised me that he did it right away. I thought that if anything, he would try to, because he gave her that ring and he stared at her. You thought that
Right.
he wanted to have a connection with her, and then if she rejected him, then he would do that. But he came looking to hurt her right off the bat. That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, because this is only what, like 35 minutes into this movie or
Yeah.
something. Like it's not. Yeah, like it's not. Yeah, not a lot has happened. Like and it's like, okay, well our heroine is already getting beat up,
Yes.
kind of thing. And so then Art straddles Tara, and he starts like choking her and stuff, and he starts going for the eyes. And but Tara ends up stabbing Art, and she actually is able to run away at this point.
Yep. Yeah, she got him
And
pretty good.
she did. She nailed him. And so she ends up grabbing like a crowbar, and Art kind of like creepily kind of starts hobbling around. He's like, kind of
Yeah.
looking for her. And then we cut to Victoria. Now Victoria is Tara's sister that's on the way to pick them up. She's on the way, and she hears the radio report about the pizza guys. And now we cut back to Tara, and she tries to get out of the building again, but of course it's locked up from the exterminator guy. And she's kind of going around, and she ends up seeing the exterminator guy,
Right. That's right.
but he has his earbuds in, so he can't hear shit. But when I first saw this, I was like, man, that's so like you'd hear something. But you know what? Okay, so when I'm at work, I like at lunch, I actually go for a walk around the neighborhood, and I have my earbuds in. And one of the neighbors was trying to get my attention one day. I didn't hear a thing. So it's yeah, that's exactly what happens.
And you're playing the right music. He's playing rock music. So, yeah, of course he was going to hear it. He might, and he wouldn't have felt the vibrations either because he was too far away.
Right.
If
Yeah.
she had stomped she had stomped on the floor, he might have felt that, but she didn't think about doing it.
Yeah. But so anyway, so Art ends up grabbing her, and shoots her up with a syringe. So he like knocks her out.
Yeah, he knocks her out.
Yeah, just knocks her out. Now we cut to Tara waking up. She's tied and gagged to this chair. Okay. And man, like this is probably the part everybody talks about in this movie.
Yeah.
At least this was the part that everybody talked about a couple years ago, and to me it's still like the craziest part of this movie.
But by far.
So Art starts playing with a bag, like a and he grabs an axe. Like it's kind of a small little like a little axe. It's like a
Right.
I don't know what the hell it is. It's weird. Um and let's see, I'm trying to read my writing here.
He keeps on doing jump scares with her.
And yeah, he's all
Yeah.
he's like flinching and stuff, and it's like yeah, it's actually kind of funny. It actually yeah, it's a good making fun of jump scares, really.
Right. It really was. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then out of the bag he grabs a hacksaw, and he teases her again. But then Art walks over to this hanging sheet that's kind of in the middle of the room, and yeah, um, he unsheaths it, and we see our friend Dawn hanging upside down.
And she's actually doing a great impersonation of you.
Yeah, she was channeling the bat. Yes, that's right.
It was. Didn't you feel sort of like? Did you feel like anger when you saw that? And go like, oh hell no, he's not going to hurt her.
Oh
And she's
yeah,
like,
right. I was like, there you go. That's my compadre there. You know.
oh shit, Art fucked up now.
Uh-oh, Art's in trouble now. He's gonna. He better leave her alone. But of course, he doesn't leave her alone.
No.
So yeah. So the next part is definitely. You don't. I mean, you do see some of it, but most of it you don't. It's actually the sound and the creepiness and Tara seeing it and reacting to it that really gets you.
Well, I think I think one of the things they did to sort of ease us through that scene was the fact that they taped Dawn's mouth shut. I think it would have been a lot worse if they had let her scream. But
Probably, yeah.
I think if you hear how much it was hurting, I think that would have been made the scene a lot more. It would have been a lot more impactful. Not that I'm saying that's what they needed to do. I'm glad they didn't do it. But I'm saying if you wanted to really, to drive to drive it home, that's what they should have done. They should have just let her scream, and then and the fact that he used a hacksaw, that would have been a very painful death.
Yes.
I mean, she would have bled out, sure, but for like the first 5 minutes, because that would have been, and he was, oh, that's a brutal scene. That is,
it really is.
It really is. And the only thing I could think of was like, that tells you how far that we've come. I mean, I don't know if this is a positive thing or not, but you looked at Friday the 13th. They had the same scene where the boy was on his hands and knees, and Jason comes up there and chops him right in two, right? But we see the chop, but we don't see it all the way through. We just see him, and then we know. But here it's like, well, we're gonna do one a little bit better. We're gonna go one we're gonna slow the scene down, and we're gonna show you the whole damn thing.
The whole thing from bottom to top.
Right. And so it wasn't like it wasn't quite like the original scene. It was just like if Friday the 13th could, you wonder if the ratings board would have, because I don't believe Terrifier. I could be wrong here, but I think Terrifier was unrated.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was unrated, which means they did not submit it to get to be rated.
Because they knew there was no way in hell they'd get it on.
God, no. No.
Just this scene alone. Yeah. So so what happens is he takes he takes the hacksaw. Well, he strips her naked.
Yeah.
And he starts in the nether regions, and just slowly starts going down, hacking away.
Yeah.
And splits her completely in half.
Yeah. Almost. I mean, the only thing that he didn't cut through was at the top of her skull.
Yeah, that was one thing. She's sitting there kind of like a V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
V for Victoria. Right.
She's coming. She's on the way.
And Tara, she and good for her. But she fights to get out of her prison. She goes crazy. God, you kept on thinking, boy, talk about nightmare fuel. And she does she does break out.
She does.
Um, but we got to talk about this part of the movie because of this happens too. And this may be probably my only complaint about this movie. So Tara gets out. See, she breaks out of the chair, and Art comes walking toward her, and then she gets up and she hits him.
Mm-hmm.
She hits Art, and Art drops down, and then she runs. And this is probably the only part of the movie that just really just didn't sit well with me, and that is you just saw your friend split in half. You've already seen what this guy can do.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck are you hitting him one time?
Yeah, one time
So,
run. No.
oh my god, the whole movie. It was just
Yeah.
like, if that happened to me and I got out of there, like I said, like you and I were talking about this before in the pre-show, I would hit that guy so many times.
Yeah.
I would have to take a nap, wake up, and do it again. This guy, I mean, they would, they would need DNA to figure out who he was or what he was,
Yeah.
But all these people do is they'd hit him once, and it's like then run. Why
Yeah.
would you do that? You see what he's capable of, man. You want to just no. I'm gonna take his head off. Um, and that's probably the one thing that just really sort of rankled me a little bit after, and because the carnage was so great, it's just like you would just be so livid that you wouldn't let this guy. This guy would be going out and he wouldn't go out on a stretcher. He'd go out in the shoebox.
Exactly. See, here you go. Mom would have beat the piss out of him with all her might. There you go.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. Not just the run, right?
Yeah, hit him once. I'm gonna hit him once. That'll show him, and they're gonna run. It's like no, hit him 40 times. Give him, do Lizzie Borden on his ass. Give him 40 whacks and get him for then get him for another 40.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that is kind of a weird thing, and it's not just this movie. A bunch of them do it.
But this was really just it really just like in other movies it just really came to home. Like, why would you just hit that guy just one time and run? Why wouldn't you turn around and just blister the shit out of him? Like, beat him so bad, like when the cops find you, you know. But you're still sitting there hitting them.
Right, but then the next scene, Art is looking for Tara again, but she's ready because she has a 2x4. So she whacks him with a 2x4, and she's sitting there like yelling at him, get up and stuff, and it's so I guess she wanted him to get up to hit him again or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So, but then Art does something extremely uncharacteristic of slashers. And what does he do? He pulls out a gun.
Yeah, that was really surprising.
Yeah.
She was wailing on his ass, but with a board. It was like, okay, if you're gonna wail on him, get something heavier, something that's gonna do damage, something that you could hold. Because that board, even though it was hitting impactfully, you can see how hard it was for her to wield that. You wanted to get something like a steel pipe or something like that so you could do damage. Something you could, and but yeah, that really surprised me when we saw him go down, reach out and get a gun. Wow, I'm not really so excited about that choice.
I mean, I kind of get it because it at this point I think Art knows that he's in for a fight, and I think he doesn't like fighting. I think he just likes whacking them and then just going to town on them afterwards.
Right.
So to me, this proved that Art he's kind of a wimp.
Yes.
in a weird way.
Yeah, it did diminish him, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think that was on purpose to show that even Art is vulnerable, and he's not quite the badass we think he is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though he is, but
He is.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So he ends up shooting her, I think, in the leg and then again in the cheek.
Yeah, yeah. He shot her in the leg and the stomach and the cheek, and then the gun misfires.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah. So it very very interesting. You definitely don't see that the killer using a gun. That's
And
the
you
first
know,
time I think I've seen it. I don't
yeah,
know of any other one personally.
I'm not in a not unless you call a spear gun a gun. We did
Right.
see
Well,
that.
yeah.
We
Right.
saw that by the 13th.
Yeah. Yeah. No. See, that's to me that's totally different. That's a totally different thing. But yeah. So that's pretty interesting.
And the thing too, it threw off the fact that we thought that because at this time we spent almost half the movie with Tara, and you're thinking that you really thought that her sister was going to come and then get killed and then all that, but lo and behold, it's the other way around. We spent we spent the first third of the movie, almost the first half of the movie with Tara, and then she dies, and that was like, oh, okay. Then it shifted unexpectedly to Vicky.
Yeah.
And that was something that was I didn't see that coming either.
I didn't
You
either,
know?
and I kind of dug that though because
Yeah.
it was so that was so unexpected, especially like I said, we're now like halfway through the movie, so it's like okay, now we're gonna do this big shift, and the whole character thing is gonna be completely different.
I tell you the other thing I didn't really like too much either though. Well, his gun misfired and whatnot, and then he came back and then he killed her, but then he shot her like 3 or 4 more times in the face. I just for that I just like to know why that was. You know, was he was it because you're right? Was it because he mad at her because she fought him so hard? Was it just
That's
trying to
my
put over
guess.
the fact? Was he Leone putting over the fact that you know Art is vicious, so that's why he already finished her off. You know, it was I don't know. I mean, I guess if he cut a woman in half, what is a few bullets in her face? But I don't know why. I think you're right though. I think he actually had his pedal to the floor with Art, and then I think he took it off just like to diminish him a little bit to make him more because you know what? Because you don't want to do that when you especially with a killer that you don't really know if he's human or not. You sort of want to overpower him too soon,
Mm-hmm.
and I do think that because he did show vulnerability, because we don't know at the time what he is yet.
Right.
And so we, though he sort of got tinges of that though, that he was supernatural because like he'd pop up places and he would always know where everybody else was hiding. It was hide and seek, but he always knew where you were at.
Right.
You could be hiding and you could be hiding, but he still knew. So it really wasn't hiding at all. He was just playing with you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Our Art's definitely into the playing the games for sure.
Yeah,
So
the gun
now,
was weird.
yeah. So now Victoria finally arrives at the apartment building, and she's calling Dawn's phone because Tara's phone is dead. So Art sees the phone, so he texts back, "Go meet me around the back," thinking it's Tara. So Victoria goes around, and let's see. Oh, and by the way, the cat lady saw all of this. She saw him shoot Tara, the whole like she saw everything. Want to put that, and then so the cat lady starts freaking out, and she runs and goes and finds the exterminator guy. So the exterminator guy is actually still in the damn building. I was surprised, and she's like, "There's dead bodies. He shot blah blah blah," and the exterminator's like, "All right, lady, let's calm down."
Right.
And he's like, let's go get you some help, blah blah blah, kind of thing. And then the exterminator guy goes on to a stairwell to make a telephone call, and our good buddy Art shows up again,
Yeah.
just like this.
That's
Boom.
right.
Yeah, there's the exterminator on your right, and of course our buddy Art there on the left.
That guy's hearing must have been shot anyway, because he been listening to those earbuds so much. I mean, I'm sure even his normal hearing was shot to shit. So it makes sense that Art, how could he not hear Art? That's easy. His hearing was already affected
He's
by it.
already, yeah,
Yeah,
because he was always listening to stuff, and yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's what happens. That's what happens. If you're in a horror movie and listen to bad rock and roll, you're gonna die.
Exactly. So, yep. So Art whacks him with the hammer, and but the let's see, but the call that he was making actually goes through, and Art hears that it went through, so he takes the hammer and he starts whacking the phone. I thought
Right.
that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was sort of funny.
He's just like, no, Rip. It's like, shut up. Let's see, where am I at? My handwriting is terrible, by the way. I just want to let everybody know that.
Doctor of Thugonomics.
There you
Um,
go.
so yeah, so he falls into the stairwell. He's out. And of course it's for this time it's Art hitting him one time and leaving. He didn't finish him off. He had a claw hammer. He only hit him with a forehead. He didn't turn around and hit him with a claw hammer. Like you would expect. He just but he left him there in the stairwell, and then he goes back to chasing Vicky. Um, yeah, he definitely put Vicky through the paces. But before that, we see Art. He has the cat, because the crazy cat lady told him, about the guy. Says, hey, we got to get out of here. Because he's nuts. He's nuts. She's had enough of him. You know, like she saw him killing Tara, and he looks up and he sees her, and she runs. And so whatever unspoken agreement the cat lady had with Art sort of got severed right there. It was severed right there. So the crazy cat lady goes down there, and there are cats in there too. By the way, there are cats in there,
Oh yeah.
and but she goes down there and she sees. Oops, are you frozen?
Not on my end.
Oh, okay.
Are you?
Nope. There it is. I was weird. I was like, okay, am I frozen? So yeah, so she goes down and she sees Art sitting in the hallway, and she is rocking her baby, sort of like what Al is doing there. That's right. Al, there's not much difference between Al and Art, by the way. Just let you know that.
This is from my vacation, by the way. This
Is that Mickey or Minnie?
that's the Mickey, the Mummy Mickey popcorn bucket.
Wow. Nice. So she sees him rocking her baby rocking it, and she goes up to him and she says, let me have my baby back. Let me have my baby. And and she tries to get real close to Art, and she tries to like have a moment of nurturing. He's holding her baby, and she gets real close and she's holding Art. And it was almost like is he trying to reestablish the dynamic that they once had. There it is. And it's a bit of a tender moment. We don't know what the agreement was that they had with each other, like you stay out of my way, I stay out of your way. But whatever it was severed. And so we leave them just like that. That's how we leave Art and the crazy cat lady and her baby. When Vicky's down there looking, she thinks that she's found her sister Tara, and she rushes over there to help her sister Tara, and we find out that it's not Tara. Our Art has killed the crazy cat lady or left her dying, but he has flayed her alive. He has taken her skin from underneath her breasts and her arms, and he is wearing it like a John Gacy. and has a hair. I don't know where the hair came from, but he put the hair on and he put the skin on, and he had including the cat lady's breasts, and so it was really really creepy. And they didn't show it, so they don't show it, but that's how, yeah, that's how she, she that's the cat lady there, and then he kills her basically, and so Vicky comes down there, and it turns out to be Art wearing the skin and the face of or the skin of the crazy cat lady. Uh, what did you think of that scene?
Um, I really thought that by this point, you really see that Art is. I mean, not that you didn't know he was crazy before, but this, to me, this scene kind of put it over that like there's no turning back for this guy, and this kind of solidified that he's not all there. And I don't know. That's what it signified to me.
He liked doing slow deaths. See, that's another thing that sort of separates him from the slasher movies is if you go back and watch Michael and Jason and and even Freddy in some respects, they all go for the quick kill. Like here comes Jason, gonna put a hatchet in your head, or he's gonna come down, he's gonna decapitate you all at one shot. Michael Myers, come in there and stab you or strangle you or whatnot. Those are all relatively quick deaths. Art is not about that. Art wants to make you suffer. Art is like he's almost like a Cenobite in that regard. It's like he's almost like a pinhead. Your suffering will be legendary, and they're not kidding. Everybody here in this movie pretty much dies a pretty horrific death, and not necessarily a slow death at that.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, like they're all brutal. Like there's not one that was like, oh, that was whatever. No, they're all
brutal,
completely just insanely brutal. Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons this movie has such a cult following, is that all the kills and all the craziness, just I don't know, like it's just so much, and it just keeps going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, this movie's only an hour and 24 minutes long, but man, about the time where he kidnaps Dawn, it just goes. It's on overdrive, and there's a lot to be done in an hour's worth of work. A little underneath an hour, but at the same time, it's not quick. It's slow. It's painful. Is drawn out. This is a very different horror film in that respect. Hey, Kal-El Daily. This is like, I mean, this is, I don't know. It just felt, and it didn't. This movie did not play fast. You know what I'm saying? It did not come like, wow, that was over quick. It felt like an hour and a half felt like 2 hours. Yeah. Because of all the cat and mouse and the killings and whatnot. And more power to Leone for doing that.
Yeah, but even saying that, it was still paced well too.
Yes.
I didn't feel it was overkill. I didn't feel like it was just the right amount.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Friday the 13th movies that we watched in our series, it felt like, it's like, okay, we got a half hour left, kill everybody, and it felt rushed, and it felt like, and you felt like where they added extra victims in there for the sake of victims, and you didn't feel that really here. I mean, not even when Mike's buddy comes out to see what's going on. If that felt organic, it felt like, yeah, that's what he would do. He would try to call his friend to come over, and it felt right. It didn't feel like, okay, let's throw in another a paper character in there just for another kill. It felt right, and it felt like it fitted in the story.
Yeah.
And the thing is the setting too. The apartment. Wow, what a great setting it was too, because it's his playground. He knows it. They don't, and it'd be very easy to get lost there. It'd be very easy. He's like, you don't know where you go, and you can't necessarily, nor would you want to go higher. Like okay, well, he's down on the first floor. I'm going to go to the second floor. That's something you really don't want to do, because the higher you go, the more trapped you get.
Mm-hmm.
Be on the ground floor as much as possible, because you're trying to get out. And so he knows that. I'm sorry, I got an itch here. He knows that, and so it just added more tension to it.
Oh yeah.
So and we see all the we see all the holes, like when Vicky hid in that closet. Art knew where she was all along. He looked right dead at her through the knothole and was waving at her like, "I know you're in there, but I'm just going to go over here. I want to draw it out. I'm going to draw it out." And that's what he did.
That's what he does. He likes the chase.
Yeah. It's sort of like a cat and mouse, even though he's not a cat.
Yeah, but there were rats in the apartment building.
Yeah, there were rats. Yes. And so I it's there's so many different places to hide and everything else. I mean, it's just like with the other killers, once they find you, they go over there and dispatch you right off the bat. We're just going to go ahead and kill you now. I'm trying to really think when it comes down to Michael or Jason or whatnot, where he actually would have kidnapped, like he made Tara look at Dawn as he killed her, chopped her in two. I'm trying to think of if anybody's ever done that before, where Freddy's got, like, I know, where another person watched their friend die like that. I know Friday Nightmare on Elm Street, but that was before anything new, anything at all. I mean, it's like they're just sitting there and they don't really know who Freddy was at the time. They just see Johnny Depp's character and Tina die, but they really don't know quite yet what's going on with it. Whereas Tara, she did know. She saw what Art was, what he's about, and then she really saw what he was about. It's a very well told story for such a brutal film.
It really is, and like I said, the first time I watched it, I missed all of it, because basically all I saw the first time I watched it was just the crazy kills, and I didn't realize there was just this overarching story around it, and so that's why I'm glad I was able to watch this a couple of times, and now I actually think it's fairly brilliant. Yeah. So Victoria comes into the picture, and let's see. So Victoria discovers Dawn's hanging body in split, and so she screams and runs back. She finds a woman crawling on the ground that she thinks is Tara.
Yeah.
And it is definitely not Tara.
No.
So she's crawling down. It's like face down, so you can't see her face. And for a second, I actually thought it was the cat lady. But it's not her either. But who is it? It's our friend again. It's Art in a wig, and
wearing that skin,
wearing Dawn's skin. So definitely some Texas Chainsaw going on here.
And well, he also is wearing he's also wearing the cat lady skin.
That's right. Yeah.
Lady,
cat lady, he like skinned her,
skinned
her top, like her top torso, and like started wearing it.
Yeah.
So now he's up and walking around like a lady. So he's all like, with the wig on, and it's it just keeps going and getting more terrifying as it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Like Terrifier is a great name for this movie. Like it's just it fits it perfectly, I think.
Yeah. No, it did fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is this is in fact I was sitting there earlier. I was in Michelle's stream, and I didn't know this at the time, but she's watching movies. She's watching horror movies. She's telling us, her and her son were watching movies. I thought they were watching some of the horror movies together. And I said that we're going to be talking about Terrifier tonight, and she says, I have to watch it. I have to watch it. And I'm like, oh, you can't watch this with your little boy. I said, Terrifier is a little too intense for that. I mean, I would not
No.
recommend that. And then she said that her son isn't into horror movies. And I almost want to sit there and extend that to her. Like, this might be a little intense for you because this is a pretty intense movie. And there's no lighthearted moments here. There's nothing here to break the tension. There's just steady ratcheting of the tension. It goes higher and higher and higher. There's no breaks from it. It is what it is. There's no, okay, let's go sit in the bar and talk about Jason for a minute, or let's go over here and in the hospital and talk about Michael Myers, no, it's all art all the time. You're in that building, you're not getting out of it. That's where we're at. It's a relentless movie, and it doesn't give you much of a chance to to breathe, really, actually.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, because it's like attack, and it's like, yeah. All right, so let's see where we're at. All right, so Victoria's hiding, and Art finds her, and she's like in this. Was she in like a box or something? Like what is she? I don't even know what she's hiding in. But Art starts shaking it, and like it's like it's like a weird thing. And I keep losing my spot. Let's see.
Well, she was hiding in the closet first, and then he sees her, and then he walks away. Then the second exterminator guy comes on. He comes in, he gets inside the building, and Art sees him, and he dispatches him because he's looking for his friend Mike. And so he gets inside the building, and after standing outside for a while, and then he gets the inside, and Art takes care of him. And then after another clash with Vicky, and where Vicky has stabbed him or kicked him or hurt him, he comes back with a weapon I have never seen before in a horror movie, and quite honestly, I hope I never see again, because holy shit, it is awesome, but it's also fearsome. It's also very fearsome. Art comes back, and he has made a cat o' nine tails.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that was there's our. Is anybody on that? Oh, thank you, Casey. Yeah, what'd you think of that? I mean, that was because we're heading toward the end here. And Vicky's running away. She's banged up, and but then Art finds her, and he brings out a cat o' nine tails. That was a fearsome weapon. That was probably, as far as as far as the weapons he had used on anybody. Oh, that might have been the worst.
Yeah, that was pretty intense, and he's just like whacking away.
I don't see how she could have got up from that.
I don't either, because
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, when I saw that, I'm going like, then it's Art's going to town, and then we get Mike the Exterminator coming up there, and what does he do? He hits him the one time. Let's get out of here. Oh my! You just find yourself wanting to scream at the screen, going like, "What the fuck, dude? Why aren't you just pounding that guy? Look, you hit him with your exterminator bucket. Why don't you put that nozzle in his mouth and jack him full of poison.
Yeah, I'm about to say you have the perfect weapon, dude. Like,
Yeah, fucking put the thing in his asshole and shoot him full of bug spray. You know, it's like,
exactly.
wow, you just hit him once and okay, let's go. Can you get up? Can you move? I don't think personally. I don't think she would have been able to get up.
No,
The
no.
Cat of Nine Tails. Basically, with the original Cat of Nine Tails, it's a whip. It's a normal. It's like a regular bull whip, but it has metal endings on the tip on the end of it.
Yeah.
So when you get hit by a regular whip, it's still going to mess you up. But when you get hit with a metal tip, it does all that much more damage. And with Art, his Cat of Nine Tails is made of scalpels and scissors and knives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ferocious. It's absolutely ferocious.
Yeah.
And he hits her more than once with it. He goes to,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And so he grabs her and he gets her up there and says, "Can you go? Can you?" I just don't see that. I didn't see her getting up from that. I just thought, well, you know what? She's on her way out. She's going to pass out from the loss of blood here real quick, but she's not going to be able to, well, Mike grabs her, and then he goes ahead and he takes her and he gets on the phone and he starts talking to 911 and he tells them what's happening, and he's saying that the girl was really badly hurt. There's people hurt here, and they're not going to stay in the house. They're going to get out of the house, and you just send cops over here. We're going to get out while we can, and so then they go look for the exit out. But once again, Art is ahead of them.
Always.
So, what did you think when Mike and met? What did you think when Art met Mike and Vicky after trying to get off that one last time?
Well, let's see. I'm trying to see what part we're at here exactly in my notes, because that kind of tells me where I'm at.
Oh,
let's see. It goes cops.
my peepers are.
Well, yeah. Mike's all like, man, like, screw this. We're going to the ER.
Right.
I thought that was kind of funny because I don't know. But let's see. It starts. Oh yeah, and then Art gets a piece of her hair too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, like it's pretty brutal, man.
You know what? Too, in the very beginning of the movie, when he's getting all his toys, we see hair on his toys too.
Mm-hmm.
We sharpen them up. We see we see him in the very beginning of the movie before he meets anybody. He's getting all his weaponry together, and there's a scene where there's a clump of hair there on one of them. So it just showed that it showed that he had been doing this for a while. Well, he kills Mike. He kills Mike in the garage, and now there's just basically now our final girl, which is Vicky. She's our final girl, and
which you didn't think was going to be the final girl.
No, you think it was going to be Tara,
yeah,
but it's Vicky, and she's beat to snot.
She really is, man. She
toe
up on the flow up.
Yeah, I'm surprised she had any blood left in her at all, and but she of course is hiding. Then we start hearing police sirens come, and she's hiding out. And then Art has one last trick to play. He goes out there and he grabs the exterminator truck, and he drives the truck through the garage door, and he hits Vicky and sends Vicky flying. Yeah. So Vicky's flat on her back, and she is down for the count. I mean, she's bleeding from places she probably never even bled before. But she's still alive. And so Art gets out, and you can hear the cops getting closer and closer. You're thinking, okay, they're going to come here and rescue her at the very last moment. And then we find Art. He must have inhaled some salt baths, some bath salt. That's the only thing I could think of, because Art gets down there and he starts eating her face. That's what he's trying to. Yeah, he's trying to eat her. He's trying to eat her face, and the two cops rush up, and they tell Art to stop, to put his hands up, and he's sitting there doing that, and the cops telling him to put his hands up, and then he does something really unexpected. What did you think of that? What did you think of his move?
Yeah, it definitely caught me off guard for sure. Yeah, he actually gets the gun, puts it in his mouth, and pulls the trigger. And yeah, I was like, well, that's a way out, I guess.
Yeah. You know what's really something too was the cops are sitting there barking at him, and then when he turns around, he has the gun in his mouth, and the first thing he said, and I really thought this was I thought this was a really nice touch. He has the gun in his mouth, and the cops go like, "No, don't do it."
Yeah.
Before they don't know anything about him.
No, man.
They didn't know anything about him, but they said, "No, don't do it." And I actually thought that was I thought that was a really nice touch of realism.
Right.
You know, most of the time you sit there, you know, he would have turned around, they probably would have filled him up, you know, full of lead. But I thought that the fact that they sat there and says, you know, don't do that, you know, don't kill yourself, don't, you know, like, you know, I don't know why. I just was like, I was touched by that scene. I was like, you know, it wasn't like, yeah, full of, you know, turn them into Swiss, you know, it was like the cops are sitting there. I mean, you're thinking about those poor fuckers anyway, because they're gonna have to go through that whole apartment place to see what they're gonna see, and then they probably wouldn't have been nearly so nice. But since they don't know that, they're sitting there telling this guy it's not worth it. Don't do that to yourself. You know, whatever. I thought it was interesting, and then I thought his choices of interesting too. Is that he killed himself,
Mm-hmm.
and he did it without any he did it like there was no fear. There was just
no
like
fear, no hesitation. Just oh really? Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you got the unsettling feeling too when you watch that, like he's done that before. You know, it's not his first time. It's not his first time where
he's rodeo. No.
Yeah, it's the first. It's not the first time he's done that to himself.
Yeah. But Victoria's still breathing.
Yes.
The cops discover she's still breathing. So now we cut to the coroner. The coroner who actually kind of made me laugh a couple times. He like asked the drivers to go get him some bacon and stuff. It's like just weird stuff. But you know, these coroners are like that.
They're always weird. That's why they work. That's why they're coroners, because they're sort of freaky.
Yeah.
Unless you're Quincy, then you're pretty sharp.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody knows who Quincy is.
I do.
Do you know who Quincy is?
I do. Yeah.
Who played Quincy?
Wasn't it? It was Jack Klugman, right?
Yeah, you're good. Give it up for the bat.
Yeah, I know my stuff. I know my TV. I know my 70s, 80s TV. I know. Yeah.
Oh.
So we're at the coroner. They bring in two bodies. They bring in Mike the Exterminator and Art the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes a look at Mike first, and now Mike's death, the Exterminator guy. This is where Art like stomped on his face and like smushed his face in.
Right.
So he opens it up and he sees, you know, the coroner sees like this smushed face. There's literally nothing there but just blood and guts.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, I got to get a look at the guy that did this. So he goes over to Art and he opens up the body bag and the lights start to flicker. Is just crazy dramatic music happening. And there's like this phone ringing, there's screaming. It's all this stuff's happening all at once. And then Art suddenly wakes up and grabs the coroner by the throat. He has a throat fetish. Art has a throat fetish.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing that out right now. At this point, when Art gets up, you actually see the hole in the back of his head. I thought that was pretty interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we cut to the ER. and we see Victoria is in a wheelchair, and she's with her parents. So this is a little bit later, and they turn her around to let her go, and we see her face. And so Victoria is actually the lady that was interviewed in the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it
So
was.
I thought that was a neat little twist.
I thought those too.
Yeah.
And
And so
before you guys look at that and think about how unrealistic that looks and how they would, would they actually let that go out on camera? There was a lady that was attacked by somebody's famous orangutan, and she lost her face. It literally tore her face off, and she had to have a total facial implant. And her face looked even worse than that. So yes.
yeah. And so that's actually how the movie ends. So Art has animated. So apparently Art cannot die. Or die for long, I should say.
Or die for long.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty interesting. So Art is supernatural in some sort of way. We don't know what, we don't know how.
Right.
Don't know if they explain it in two. Don't tell us.
I'm sure we'll find out once Terrifier 2 we able to get Terrifier 2. We will be covering Terrifier 2 on the Society once it hits, and if it hits on Tubi, or if it hits on Netflix, rest assured that we will be all over it
Yes.
to watch it. Yep. Art dies tonight. Art is the Gandalf of horror. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a good one. I was gonna say he was the Andy Warhol of David Howard Thornton had mentioned about, when they asked about Art, how he played Art. He actually said the biggest influence wasn't. He says he wanted to create an anti-Pennywise, which I think he did a very fine job of that. Personally, I think Art the Clown would wipe the floor up with Pennywise, to tell you the truth. Pennywise had a lot of tricks and whatnot, but Art. Whew. Now, if they ever did a crossover again, this would be one of those ones where it's like, if you got the right person playing Freddy Krueger, Art versus Freddy, that would be a terrific fight. Definitely. That would be, yeah. Because they're both creative. I'm sure he's a lot more creative in the second movie. As far as that goes.
I actually cannot wait to watch the second one, especially since the first one is now fresh in my mind.
He said that he actually patterned his Art the Clown. He patterned him off none other than the Joker from the Batman comics, not the movies, but the comics. And you know what? That's a really good comparison, because back in the day, the Joker used to be vicious as hell.
Yeah.
The Joker has killed hundreds, if not thousands of people. So, and he's not a nice person at all. And so I could see that,
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I know that he's another silent killer, like Jason and Michael or whatnot. And I know some people well, it wouldn't have been nice for him to speak. I don't think so. I think Art is very effective as a silent killer.
Oh yeah. If he would have talked, it would have completely changed everything.
Yeah. I'm afraid that if he actually would have spoke, I'm afraid the first thing, I think the temptation would have been was to make him like Freddy. And I think that would have been the death knell of the character.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
No.
So it's a totally different vibe, totally different.
He speaks. He doesn't have to say anything. His whole body mannerisms is he's like a mime. I mean, he can speak without saying a word.
Mm-hmm.
The part where Vicky puts she stabs him in the foot, and then she runs, and he follows her for one step, and he goes and he flips her off. I have to admit, I laughed my ass off when I saw that. I thought that was
yeah, me too. Oh yeah, that was a great thing.
he flipped her off. I thought that was pretty funny. I said, yeah, that'd be about right. Um, but 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 he didn't say anything. And of course, he didn't make any reaction at all to when he got hurt, which means it already told you right then and there that either he had no tongue, which they hadn't yet any reason to not think that he was either being mute or he was supernatural. I mean, because he was getting hit pretty good, and so they established pretty well, pretty easily right off the movie that he was a supernatural killer. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I definitely keep an eye out for it to watch it. I thought the acting was pretty good too. For a bunch
Oh,
of people I had never heard of before,
yeah.
I thought they did really, really well.
Yeah, yeah, nobody phoned it in. It was all like legit. Yeah, it was all good stuff, and it was actually an Indiegogo campaign too that
Um,
I helped produce it.
David Howard Thornton has done 2 interviews in the community. He did one interview with Bronco Juggalo on his channel, which you can find on Bronco Juggalo's movie, and he also did an interview with House of Horrors that you can go check out on Steven's channel, the Horror Freak 85. So if you want to see a couple of past, if you want to go ahead and catch a couple of interviews with him, I mean, I'm sure like I said, this movie. I mean, this movie is going to break out. This is David Howard Thornton's going to break out at Terrifier 2. He's going to be I'm sure he's going to be very well sought after now. I mean, he was a little bit beforehand, but now his life is going to change because this is a great character.
Oh yeah.
There's an inventive story behind it. The second one, like I said, I have not heard anybody, not one person have I heard or read about that has not liked this movie, which I can't say for Halloween Ends. Everybody I've seen, everybody that I've known has watched this movie has raved about it. So that's been a long time since a slasher has been universally praised like that. That's right. The Bat is commenting. Don't forget to vote for Horror YouTuber of the Month. Vote for the Bat. A vote for the Bat is a vote for the cat. There you
go. Indeed. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. And like I said, every time I watch it, I notice different stuff. So it is definitely rewatchable.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not, yeah. So I need to get a physical copy. I've only seen it streaming. Every time I watch it, I've only watched it streaming. But I definitely need to pick up a physical copy of this thing, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about I don't know kind of extras they have on it. Hopefully they do. I do know that this will be getting a physical release. Terrifier 2 will be getting a physical release. I already saw that. They already started advertising it over in Great Britain. They're going to sell it as a standalone movie. Terrifier 2 is a standalone, and they're also going to sell it as a dual pack. So you'll have 2 options of how to get this movie. Nice. And it should be coming out relatively soon. I don't think they're going to have the 90-day window like a lot of these other movies have.
Yeah.
So I think it should be a relatively quick turnaround for that. I'll be interested to see if your library, is selling a hard copy of this.
I'll find out soon.
Hi, Michelle. How are you? How did you end up liking Terrifier?
Yeah. Did you enjoy?
Michelle Shields said she was going to be watching Terrifier tonight. I'm yeah. I was wondering about that. I'm like, I wonder if she'll. Yeah. What'd you think? Was it delightful? Is that the right word?
It's just a fun.
Is that the right word to use?
All right. Okay, go. She just finished. All right. So now go back and watch this from the beginning.
That's right. You can catch up. Real quick, because we're running out of time here. Next week, we will be talking to all things John Constantine. As many of you know, Keanu Reeves is going to be coming back to play Constantine in another movie. But we're going to be talking about the whole character as a whole, his start in comics. We're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk about TV series, a short-run TV series that starred Matt Ryan. He also took the character over to Legends of Tomorrow, and he also did several animated cartoons for DC. My point is about doing this show is when I heard that he was going to be doing Keanu Reeves was going to be doing Constantine 2. My first thing was, so where's Matt Ryan going to fit? I feel really strong that Matt Ryan deserves to have a big part in this movie, and I really hope that Warner Brothers and DC are paying attention, because I don't think you get the Constantine 2 without Matt Ryan. I just don't. He kept the character alive in the public's eye for years until they got around to doing the second one.
Not the quarterback, right?
No. You're talking about not the Falcons quarterback. No. But I really do hope, and because that comes into another question. It's like, between time periods, between movie A and movie B, like Star Wars. How do you keep a franchise alive in between movies? For Constantine, it was done by doing the TV show. It was done by doing guest stars, like on various animated movies. He also was a member of Legends of Tomorrow. Like I said, he kept the character in the public's eye. And do you feel like Matt Ryan, the actor, should he be featured in the movie since he did that? Or is it just like, hey, thanks for showing up, thanks for keeping the character alive, but now we got our big star back. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of shitty if they do it that way. Yeah.
But we're gonna be breaking out. We're gonna be talking about the series. It was aired on NBC on Fridays. Talk about a terrible time. It only lasted 13 episodes, but it has so much promise. Yeah. It had some promise. It wow. But it's network TV. I remember when they said that they were going to do it, and I was totally perplexed in how they thought they were going to do a Constantine show when they aired Supergirl, and Supergirl was a much more well-known character on CBS, and it got wiped out. And I just knew that Constantine, he just knew, one, they put it on Friday nights and they put it on NBC. He just knew that it wasn't going to get a fair shake. It's a really good series. And of course, like I said, he moved the character of Constantine to Legends of Tomorrow, and of course the Justice League Dark series, which were outstanding. Hey.
That's art. That's art. Art's coming for you.
Oh well, you know what? Art can just die downstairs by the paw of the cheetah. Not too worried about that. That's for sure. But that's what we'll be talking about next week. I'm not sure who's going to be joining us. I do know that the Bat will not be joining us next week.
I will not be here, unfortunately, no. But hopefully the week after, we will. I'll know soon.
We'll know soon, and whenever the Bat will tell us the schedule, and that I don't know what we're doing. I'm not sure, so we'll bring you up to date as soon as we know. You guys will know too.
There you go.
Yeah, but you guys came out and strong today. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks everybody for coming out. We really appreciate it.
That's
always
right.
enjoy seeing everybody.
Yeah. Anything on your channel going on your channel this week?
I got a couple of reviews coming out. I've already done them. They'll be sprinkled throughout the week. You'll see them pop up randomly.
That's right. Same here. Got a couple of reviews coming out, and then tomorrow I got a short week this week for me. I only got shows tomorrow and Tuesday. I'm interviewing Ted Jordan tomorrow. He's a novelist. And then I'm interviewing a beautiful photographer. I mean, his work is amazing. He's a professional. His name is. Let me tell his name. Always want to get it right because we always talk about massacring names. So we'll be talking to Justin Robert Sanders on October 25th. So Ted Jordan tomorrow, and Justin Roberts Sanders on Tuesday.
There you go. All right, there you go. And I do not have a To Be Tuesday planned for this week as of yet. I may, but I probably not going to have enough time. But
don't worry, I'll pick it up. I'll post the To Be Tuesday. We are covering Tucker's Witch.
But Patrick's got me covered. That's right.
That's right. We'll be examining Tucker's Witch third episode on Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to that. It's been a fun show so far. I mean, it has Catherine Hicks in it. I mean, what more do you want, right?
There you go.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Awesome that you knew who Quincy was, by the way.
Oh yeah, like I said, give me 70s and 80s TV. I'm down.
Don't forget to enter the spectacular, and the midnight hour will be on Thursdays at 10 p.m. On Thursday, 10 p.m. midnight hour with Hobbs and his gang, and then right now, as far as I know, I'm not entirely sure, but I do believe Gory should be on tonight. And if so, you can head on over to Gory B Movie. And if not, we'll see you guys next Sunday. The show will be on my channel next Sunday for Night of John Constantine. That will be on my channel next week.
There you go. And don't forget to vote for Horror YouTuber of the Month.
That's right.
Links in the chat.
And, vote for the bad. A vote for the bad is a vote for the society.
There you go. All right. So okay. All right, guys. I guess we're out of here. So remember, stay spooky. And we are out.